Welcome to the Richard Sherman Podcast YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our playoff content. You know it's going to get busy. I mean, you might get a bar or two.
Let's hear it. Let's hear your Super Bowl prediction. I mean, where's your head at with this game? I want to hear final score, and I also want to see who's going to be the MVP.
Whew, Mitchell, this is a tough one to call. This is a very tough one to call because on one side, you got an offense in San Francisco that looked putrid in the first half versus Detroit, but then looked like world beaters in the second half, 27 unanswered. Then you got Kansas City Chiefs offense that looked really good in the first half against arguably the best defense in football. Second half, didn't score a point. Very tough game to call because you don't know how the matchups are going to play. Kansas City's played well historically against San Francisco, but I have San Francisco winning 27-24, Mitchell. And the reason I have that is because I think there'll be plays in this game in the second half once the adjustments are made. You'll watch the Kansas City Chiefs struggle for a while. And because you watched that the last time we played in the Super Bowl. And they had great weapons in. They had Sammy, they had Tyreek Hill, and they struggled. I mean, we got stop after stop. We got turnovers. We got a turnover in the fourth. And so, but in those situations, our offense didn't score. So the back-breaking plays that you expect, hey, we got a turnover, offense goes down, scores a touchdown, game's out of reach. I think in those scenarios, if Patrick Mahomes turns the ball over, you will have the situations where they have the back-breaking. Kyle Shanahan will have sense of urgency. Brock Purdy will have killer instinct. Christian McCaffrey, they will understand in that moment they have to score. It's not maybe we should score or it's okay if we don't. You got to get it done. And so that's the difference in this game. I think Kyle's coming to this game much more relaxed, much more under control than he ever did, almost to the point, Mitchell, they thought he was drunk. They thought he was drunk at the press conference, Mitchell, because he came to the press conference and he just said, I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to give you the standard tight answer, hey, great team, great opponent. We're just doing our best here. He said, I'm going to be Kyle. I'm going to have my coffee. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to speak the truth. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But I came in here tight the last time I went to a Super Bowl as a head coach. I'm not doing that again.
That's the key, Rich. He's got to treat this. Everyone says it's just another game, right? But reality is it's not just another game. But he needs to treat it just like another game. There's a lot of pressure on Kyle Shanahan. And I'm with you. I think it's San Francisco's time. I mean, this team, from a Detroiter's perspective, we've had it real shitty, right?
Yes, you have.
The 49ers, they've won the most playoff games in NFL history, but they haven't won a Super Bowl since 1994.
I know, Mitchell.
And it's time.
It's time. It's time.
I like your score, 27-24. I'm going to stay right in that same ballpark. I think we're looking at like a 28-27-ish game.
One-pointer?
And the reason I bring up the kicker is I think Jake Moody's going to come out and shine somehow, some way, late. Richard, the last piece of this before we wrap, you got to have an MVP call out. Is it Brock Purdy, MVP?
Mitchell, it has to be. It has to be. The narrative, no matter what, I'm going to tell you this, Mitchell. Unless Christian goes like off, for 180 and 3 touchdowns, they're going to give it to Brock just because the narrative is going to have to allow them to give it to Brock. He could have 1 touchdown pass in the game and they win 17-9. Mitchell, it's going to Brock. Because and when it comes down to this game and this young quarterback and the situation in which he came into the league, Mr. Irrelevant had never completed an NFL pass in a game. And you're talking about a guy who almost went to 2 Super Bowls in his first 2 years. I mean, he's about to break the draft process and get some people fired who didn't have him on the boards because their owners are going to be sitting there like, I know we had all the obvious ones, but clearly you're not doing the other research because he's not on your board. He wasn't high enough on your board. So if you're missing on kids like this bad, then you're probably missing on others. And so it's going to have to go to him because it's his story. This is a Brock Purdy Super Bowl. When you have a Patrick Mahomes is your Goliath, and rightfully so, he is a Goliath in this league. He has done enough to earn that moniker. But this David, Mitchell, He got more than a slingshot and a rock. Mitchell, you talk about the weapons this David has. He's out there with machine guns and rocket launchers and B-12s flying over. He's a guy, and it's always cool to have the underdog story, but rarely do you have the underdog driving a better car. Like, you talk about this being a race. This isn't one person's driving a Ferrari and the other person's driving a Prius. This is maybe the Goliath driving the worst car. And he's going to have to get out there and do more because there's a Ferrari on the other side driven by the David because he's got CMC, Kittle, he's got Debo. And then he has a fantastic defense just like you do. So I think it's going to come down to a game of wits. If he somehow, if it appears that he's outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, Mitchell, the internet's going to break. I'll be part of it.
I look forward to that.
So do we.
Richard. I look forward to your reaction video because, by God, we need to go on. Richard, we are on the cusp of history here with the Richard Sherman podcast. We've come a long way. Mm-hmm. We are live in studio here at the Win. I think we're within 100 subscribers on YouTube of eclipsing 100K. I mean, let's talk about that real quick because we have come a long way with our friends at the Volume. We appreciate all you guys. Richard, did you see this coming?
Mitchell, I cannot say I see anything coming these days. Mitchell, I got a text from Jim Harbaugh the other day. Mitchell, my world is upside down, turned around and around. So if I could tell you I expected my life to go the way, I would be completely telling you a bold-faced lie to your face. But what I will say is for the people that have been with us from day one to the people that have been with us a day, we appreciate you subscribing to the Richard Sherman podcast, checking us out. We hope to continue to grow. We hope to continue to be here to drop you very genuine, hopefully articulate content where we're not talking bad about anybody. We're giving you the facts of the matter and the matters that we see as facts. We appreciate you, everybody on YouTube, everybody on the Volume that have helped put this together. Obviously, Rory and Goldie, they do a great job behind the scenes, making sure that everything is cut up and you have these amazing, incredible short videos, long videos that you see every day. They're the guys. They're the masters behind the scenes. We're just the pretty faces in front of the screen. Not that they're not pretty. They're handsome. They're handsome guys. But thank you guys so much. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you.